You know, our guest today proves the power of YouTube. Millions of people clicked on a video of Angie Johnson singing in the Air Force Band. That eventually led to her being a contestant on the hit TV show, The Voice. And Angie is joining us today. And you know what? We just mentioned that you were or are a part of the military. So thank you so much for your service. Okay, so it starts when you're in the field that you started your path to The Voice. So what's the behind-the-scenes story about that? How did that happen?
The behind-the-scenes story is that I had no idea the video existed. I found out 2 days later because my husband told me about it. I'm in Afghanistan, and
this is your YouTube video.
Yes.
You're singing a song, and people love it online.
Right. And the first thing I think is not, wow, this is so cool. It's, oh my gosh, I have no makop on. And 130,000 people have seen it. Like, that is the first thing that I think. Yeah, I'm a girl. I'm still a girl.
So you're aware that it's becoming a hit, but someone contacts you because they saw it too.
Right. And it was actually a Facebook message that I got of someone saying, you need to go to Carson Daly's Twitter feed because he just tweeted this video and he's looking for you. And I thought it was totally bogus. I was like, no way.
And Carson's the host of The Voice.
He's got to be talking about somebody else, you know? Yes, and he is. He is the host, and he was. He tweeted about me, and I responded, and they facilitated a Skype audition for me, and I got to come home from deployment and immediately hit the ground running with the voice process.
What is CeeLo like behind the scenes as a mentor? That must be a little tough.
Well, what I always like to bring up about him is his sensitivity to music and to humanity. He's very sensitive, and he reminded me a lot of interviews that I'd seen with Michael Jackson, where he was this larger-than-life person on stage, but then as soon as he's off stage, he's very soft-spoken and he's very full of heart. And I don't think a lot of people know that about him, but he has so much knowledge about all genres of music. He is a passionate lover of music as a whole, so to have him as a coach was really beneficial.
Now, your career, you did fabulously on The Voice.
Thank you very much.
And your career is getting off to a start here. Tell me about what's new in terms of Angie Johnson and her singing career.
Well, I've been very blessed. I've gotten to play at the White House since I've come off The Voice. I've gotten to perform at the Grand Ole Opry, which was a huge thing I wanted to check off that bucket list.
Yeah.
And recently I got to perform at CMA Fest, where we just missed each other. And I've got a Kickstarter program that I'm going to be launching here at the end of June.
Now, Kickstarter, how would you explain that? That's kind of a fundraising mode for people to give money if they what?
It's fantastic. It gives the power to the people to support the artists that they love. It's basically, you contribute however much you can contribute monetarily, and there are rewards packages for whatever amount you give. If you give $5, you might get a free digital download or something like that.
And is this in support of an album that they want you to go make then?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Because when everyone says, we want to hear new music, we want to hear new music, this is a way they can help me accomplish that. Because I want to give new music, but that costs a pretty penny. So
now you're also, as a troop member, going to be performing at Warner Robins, Georgia, a military outpost there, or base.
Yes.
And I had the opportunity to do that last year. What was your big interest in doing that yourself?
Well, I have done that show before as a troop. And I always kind of wished, you know, I could be called back and do it as a civilian if I ever got my career off the ground, and I'm getting to do that now. So I really wanted to kind of go back to my old stomping grounds. I was stationed there, and do that show for the community, but, you know, in girl clothes and high heels and makeup.
And they're going to know you. They're going to go, I saw her one time at CVS.
They might. They might. If that's awesome.
And that's going to play then on the, usually on the Armed Forces Network, right? The American Forces Network.
AFN.
Which is a huge deal because it'll then play
overseas,
in overseas where people who are serving our country and can't come home will actually get to see that. That's wonderful. How were you able to cope with the stress of being on The Voice, or doing things like singing the national anthem for thousands, whatever it may have been?
Well, for The Voice, actually, one of the makeup artists on The Voice gave me a wake-up call. I was so nervous and jittery before I went out to the blind audition. And she was like, girl, you just got back from Afghanistan. What are you freaking out about? So from that point on, I just thought on those terms. I was just, every time I would get stressed, every time I would get nervous, I was just like, wait a minute. Is this as hard as what I just finished doing in the, in the Middle East? No, it's not. Chill out, and it just kind of helped me mellow out about that stuff. But the anthem, there is no remedy for that. I'm nervous every time I sing that song.
Really?
Yes.
Even though you do great.
Thank you. It's just, there's so much buildup about it, and the verses are so similar. I'm so scared I'm going to get 2 words mixed up, it's just.
It's happened to the
best.
It's
a difficult song. It has. That's the truth.
Well, Angie, thank you so much. Best of luck, on an honor.
Thank you. So good to meet you.
Well, I hope to see more of you in terms of on billboards and when I'm walking past the, the albums and iTunes.
That's what I'm aiming for.
Coming to iTunes soon.
Thank you. Thank you.